Let's beat the waiver wire right now on Fantasy Football Today Express. All right, big week next week. Get started now. That means buy all the ingredients you need for your side dishes. Get all the appropriate pies because you don't want to be left with the pumpkin pie when there's nothing else good. But we got to get ahead of the game. And because it's Thanksgiving week, there are no bye weeks. We have 3 games on Thursday. We have 1 on Friday, and the rest are Saturday, or rather Sunday and Monday. Hey, Dave.
Adam, hello.
Who do we need to go get and stash?
I am going to put a big smile on your face because the player to go and get is 69% available, and his name is Chris Rodriguez Jr., who you have been talking. That's a weird smile. It's a tough schedule ahead, but he checks a lot of boxes. He appears to be the lead running back for an NFL team. And that's really the only box that matters when you're looking to pick somebody up off the waiver wire, especially at the running back position. Maybe he's just a depth piece for your squad. Maybe he ends up starting for you. There are some matchups along the way where he can help you. And if he's the feature back for an NFL team, you'd like to have that rather than some of these other ratty running backs that we will talk about on today's show.
Okay, so let's talk about quarterbacks. Go ahead and search your waiver wire just to see. Did someone drop Jackson Dart? Is Joe Burrow still available? They're about 88% rostered. Good luck.
Same thing with Jacoby Brissett, 32% available. He's got Tampa. Trevor Lawrence is 30% available. We would never start Trevor Lawrence unless he was playing the Titans, and that's what he plays. That's who he plays next week. And by the way, in week 13, tough matchups for Caleb Williams, Daniel Jones, Jaden Daniels. That's if he's back. The Steelers quarterbacks. So maybe if you've got one of those quarterbacks, you can look to add Brissett, Trevor Lawrence, or potentially a week 13 replacement who you could use in week 12, Bryce Young, 68% available. I think he's going to have to throw a lot against the 49ers. I think he's going to have to throw a lot against the Rams next week too. Other than that, guys like Tua are out there. Tyler Shuck's got Atlanta and Miami. Tua next week against New Orleans. They're not great. They're not earth-shattering, Tua especially, but they're guys that are out there that could give you a pivot in case you don't love your quarterback in week 13.
All right. It's really hard to find good running backs to stash. So Chris Rodriguez is a good call, 31% rostered. You said there's really not a lot, not great names other than that. Who are we looking at?
No, I mean, you should check for Bashal Tutin, and we've talked about him a lot as somebody that you can pick up and stash basically since August, but he's got that matchup against Tennessee. And if he's healthy, what if he splits 50-50? What if he has an edge in terms of playing time and carries ahead of Travis Etienne? You've got to watch out for that. Devin Singletary is available in 58% of leagues. His next 3 games are, well, he's got Detroit this week. That's bad. But then Washington, Minnesota, and Las Vegas. A lot of those games are in the fantasy playoffs. That comes, all 3 of them, Washington on after the week 14 bye. He's not a bad bench running back. Just in case of emergency, you can fling him into your lineup. I'd rather have Chris Rodriguez, but they're both bench worthy, and they're both available north of 50% of leagues. Otherwise, it's Tyjae Spears. And then just for week 13, Justice Hill, the Ravens taking on Cincinnati. He's 78% available. You want players that are taking on Cincinnati. Maybe he gets a couple of catches en route to garbage time. By the way, handcuff stashes, a.k.a. the next Emmanuel Wilson or Kenny Gainwell. Blake Corum is out there in 59% of leagues. I would get him if you've got Kyron Williams. Tank Bigsby if you have Saquon. Ollie Gordon if you have Devon Achane. Ray Davis if you have James Cook. They're out there in a ton of leagues. Now's the time. If you're headed toward the playoffs, and everybody is, right? Because you wouldn't be watching otherwise.
Right, yeah.
Go ahead and get those stash running backs in case of emergency. They'll be 70% of what the starters were, maybe 60% in the case of guys like Gordon and Davis.
All right, take a break. We're about 50% done with our show. Wide receivers, tight ends, and DSTs after this. Okay, do we have any good wide receiver stashes, Dave?
We've got some okay names. First check for Christian Watson, Kayshon Boutte, Chris Godwin, Tez Johnson. They're available anywhere from a quarter to about a third of CBS Sports leagues. Some favorable matchups coming up, and also opportunities, especially in the case of Watson. He would be my favorite of that group of 4. Here are 3 wide receivers you can add and maybe even start in week number 12. Josh Downs leads the way, 40% available. He's got the Chiefs this week, the Texans next week. Those are tough defenses, but he plays in the slot. And before his last game, he had 4 straight with at least 11 PPR points. you could do worse. And Darnell Mooney has been worse, but for week 12, there's no Drake London. And so he's going to act as the number one receiver, 7+ targets in each of his last 2 games. I don't feel great recommending him as a start, but I might change my tune if it's week 13 against the Jets. Kirk Cousins actually looks halfway decent, and Drake London is slow to come back from his injury. So Darnell Mooney is a stash candidate. And then one other guy that we've been talking about as a stash for a while, he was my favorite stash last week. I'm still going to bang the table for Luther Burden. 75% available. His route rate is rising. He could be useful down the line. That is a wideout I don't mind putting on my bench. I'd rather put some of those running backs that we talked about on the bench, but if I'm good at running back and I just want a wide receiver that's got some upside later on, Burden is trending toward being an every down player in Chicago's passing game.
All right, tight ends. Let's go. Who we stashing there?
Do the check for Juwan Johnson, 30% available, and then Theo Johnson as well, 28% available. Don't like Theo's matchup as much against Detroit this week, but if Jackson Dart's back and playing, then by all means, he could end up being a good target. New England the week after, a more favorable matchup for Theo Johnson. Brenton Strange has been an IR stash. He could be coming back soon. Don't mind him if he starts this week against Arizona. Like him even more against Tennessee in week 13. And then in week 13, if you're kind of desperate for a tight end, TJ Hawkinson, Evan Engram, they've got favorable matchups. One other IR stash at tight end. And this is for, you just have an IR spot to burn. Darren Waller, it does sound like he's going to have a chance to come back and join the Dolphins offense. He's 71% available.
Yeah, he's interesting. I mean, he was doing some good things, and
he was scoring touchdowns. That's good.
Yeah, they need a number 2 target there, so that could easily be Darren Waller. Good call on him. Yeah, all right, DSTs. What do we got?
Tough matchups ahead for the Packers, Steelers, and Vikings defenses in week 13. The big stash to get here is Jacksonville. We're just banging on this matchup against Tennessee. They're 59% available. You can get them now. Wait a week. Use them in week 13. They will be a top 10 DST then. And then if you're kind of desperate, you can look at the 49ers DST. They've got Cleveland, then a bye, and then Tennessee. So you can be a little patient with them. Then they might not be so bad, even though they just are so beat up, but good matchups coming up. Colts DST against Houston. Dolphins DST. I know that sounds gross, but they've actually been playing better. Week 13 against New Orleans, week 14 against the Jets.
Chargers also get the Raiders. You can look at them. And if you start the Chargers against the Raiders in week 13 rather, that will be the last time you play them. They have the Eagles, right, Chiefs, and Cowboys after that. All right, Dave Richard, thank you very much. Well done. And good luck. Good luck in week 12. I hope.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. We're not there yet. It's way too early to wish people happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year, Dave.
Okay. What are you going to do with your wife for Valentine's Day 2026?
I haven't quite figured that out.
Well, you better figure out something, because she's going all out for Thanksgiving this year.
Is she? We're ordering, so
all right.
Yeah.
So,
we don't have to do anything.
Like you'll just stream a movie off of Paramount Plus or something for Valentine's Day. Be a real romantic.
Yeah, Naked Gun. What could be better?
Did you ever see the remake?
I did. I liked it.
I did not see it, so do not spoil it for me.
There were probably 5 to 10
You're
times.
Spoiling it for me. Shut up. Stop now.
It was weird that he died. We'll talk to you later. See you, everybody.